ED seriously misled. Sacrificing Tungwarara over Tagwirei would be suicidal. A report that we are having from one of our own who happens to be a political scientist. Was one of my political scientists, because we are always giving our own interpretation of things. We are always giving our own analysis of things. But let's also allow some other people that are analyzing the situation iri kuitika munyika vari kuti chii ngikhuluma ngendaba yokuti tina sihlala sinika iside yethu ezinto sikhangele izinto sicasisa izinto ngendlela esiyibonayo ngendlela esi-understandayo. Namhla ngithe okay ake sinike nini ithuba kwabanye abantu laba abakhangele okwenzakala elizweni ke sizwe lathi ukuthi abanye abantu babona njani. So we have a report that we have, which I am going to be putting here, and then we analyze it, we go through it, we see whether some of the things that we are looking at or we are seeing, they're in line with what other people are saying. So we have one of our sister, Chipom Sarurwa Siziva. When you see here, she says she's a political scientist. So she's the one who is talking about this issue yatinayo panap. Arikuti kwai Mnangagwa is dangerously misled. The elephant in the room, Kuda Tagwirei, is now out of control. So in other words, what we have seen happening from the beginning of the fights, right? Trikuona kuti fight started when Kuda started going around. Kubakwake was going around. You remember those rallies and so on and so forth. Actually, some schools. There was a time we did a show. She complained about schools in Epworth that had been closed, and and he was going around dishing monies and saying quite a lot of things, and at times speaking as if he's the one who makes the law. You remember the time that he was speaking about foreigners and so on and so forth, and then we saw Manize coming and lambasting him over the issue of foreigners. Actually, we are not xenophobic and issues like that. Right. Then somehow we saw issue Marali's Kubakwake just went down, right? And then Tempted started his own spree also. Atanga spree yake, that's where now the issue of lambastation of one another on public fora just started from nowhere. And people started to say, what's happening? Who is being lambasted here? What's happening in ZANU PF? Who is who? Who stand for? And issues like that. And many questions were being asked. So she goes on to say, if Mnangagwa dares to throw Tungwarara under the bus, he will be sending a chilling message to every loyal cadre who has staked their political capital on Vision 2030, the term extension agenda, and the survival of ZANU PF beyond 2028. Right? So I don't know. She's saying that kudonedzwa kwa Tungwarara kuchakonzera kuti munhu wese anga akamira genuinely narovambira apinde mufear. But it's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky. Saka ari kunyatsova kuside kwarovambira kwacho ndiani. If there's a possibility yekuti Tungwarara anogona kudonedzwa, and Tungwarara is said to be representing or on the side of those that are genuine cadres and could not, right? Remember, we are not looking at Chipom Sarurwa as a ZANU PF member or what. She's just a political analyst. So if she was a ZANU PF member, we would say possibly she's standing on the side of faction that she believes. But Arutia, she's just a political scientist. Right. So we want to believe her as a political scientist. Right. So, but then my next show yachataura ne response yapiwa na Tsuro Magenga, Hubert Angel, achipa kuna Tungwarara. We also want to join up with what Sister Chipo is talking about here. Kuti kudonedzwa kwa Tungwarara can also affect the survival of ZANU PF beyond 2028. Aroti Tungwarara has been one of the few who dared to push the envelope for Mnangagwa's political longevity. Like really? We thought maybe this agenda yakatotanga long back before we saw the germination of Tungwarara. Because Tungwarara just like germinated from nowhere. Akangomera say, whoa, right? But then it seems like our sister Chipo is giving credit to this push more on the side of Tungwarara than on the side of Kubakwake or the other factions. She says here to sacrifice him at the altar of Tagwirei's personal vendettas would be political suicide. Okay? Really? Saka. So where does Angel stand? If Tungwarara is this powerful and if Tungwarara is very correct here on whatever that is doing, where does Angel stand? Because mukazona response yapo na Angel yatiri kunobata next show toda kuzozvicompare also tichiona kuti could our sister Chipok be correct on this one. Hansi Tagwirei does not want Tungwarara to shine, not because of ideology or principle, but because of greed. But I think they are both greedy. Would you say Tungwarara is not greedy? They are both greedy. Hansi Tagwirei is the embodiment of the white monopoly capitalist ethos in black skin. He has captured the state, captured the economy, and now seeks to capture the party. Zimbabweans must open their eyes. This is not empowerment. This is elite consolidation masquerading as patriotism. If he betrays Tungwarara to appease Tagwirei, he will lose the last remnants of trust among those who still believe in the leadership project, in his leadership project. The question is not whether Tagwirei is too powerful. The question is, will Mnangagwa finally see the power unchecked? That power unchecked is power abused. Okay. So this is the analysis, and I don't know about what you think, or looking at what our sister is saying here. It seems like she is more on the side favoring the side of Tungwarara and placing him as a genuine cadre over Tagwirei. Isusu kana tivatarisa isusu tinongona kunge vanhu vakafanana isu. We see them as one person, vanongova greedy and people that are just fighting for the piece of cake. Saka, well, like I said when I started the show, that toda kumbotenderawo mamwe maviews evamwe vanhu tisinganyanyo kuisa edu timbonzwawo kuti vamwe vari kufungei from the way that we see things versus what they are also seeing, especially people like Wana Chipo Msarwa. She's quite very vocal. She's always on social media. She gives commentary most of the time on issues like this. Saga, amen. But in light of what she has said, we want to get into the next show. Tones Gwaguti, the response here Piwana Angel to Tungwarara, does it really portray that Tungwarara is on the right side of things? Tishiona kuti wo Tsuromaginga Washo, he has been parading himself with Rukachwende for some time, especially after the war of words. So, and the next show, what we have highlighted on this show and what is happening on the ground. Otherwise, yes, I'm coming to find show. Kubakwake and Tungwarara asi communism, pana capitalist akadaro. Communism inounza namo munyika. Capitalism inounza development munyika. I think I do agree with you. I do agree with you, Papa Nkomata. Capitalism, ndakatomboita argument nomwe munhu, achita advocate for this communism. Communism, Darwinism, zvese zvakadhakwa zvinhu zvese zvakadhakwa zviyazvi. The truth chaicho kana takudai kuita serious about developing our countries is to look at capitalism. Capitalism, open things to competition. Allow visa the lead above where one can get in terms of progress in whatever area that you are good at. And competition, itakuti products dzinge dziri more available and even affordable, because more people will produce the same goods. Saka iwewe kuti uchizoita monopoly and wodhurisa zvinhu at the expense of the market inokandira pasi, because the law of supply and demand inobva yangokonzera kuti maprices aite go down. Saka zvinounzawo futi variety. You see, saka look at the American economy in a variety. It's a capitalist economy in a variety. And when you look at most of them, vanomhanya capitalist ideology, countries are anobudirira. And we should not be having my politicians. That's why you see productivity and the productive sector kuna America independent. Vana Trump vana zvavanokwanisa kuita. industry neproduction. Yes, vanongozopa ma-sweeping laws ari pamusoro, but some the control of things is really still in the hands of the industrialists. Saka iyo yakanaka iyo. So those are some of the things that we need to be, some of the topics we need to discuss it also. Tichimbo try kumbo build the new Zimbabwe. Tichimbo kuti, can we not try other models? But zvinotora vanhu vasiri greedy, zvinotora vanhu vanoramba vari malens avo achiziva kuti inini ndinogumira palane iyi, ndinogumira, I can go as far as this, I can't cross over into manje ava onai zvavaita ezvinovatora football yese vatora over, vatora mateams yese football, vabva ikoko vanonotora zvese, they are just grabbing everything. My politicians are not good administrators in most cases. They are not good administrators. They are not good at management. Vanofanirwa kungova ma-politician chete, vasiye the running of management, vasiye vanhu vanokwanisa kuita productivity and manage productivity, vachirana vari independent, the private sector. But unfortunately, that's not what is happening to our country. Ndosaka tichigara tine ma-challenges akaita so. So we have a lot of work. Yekubvisa ma-politicians, the hand of the politicians in many of these areas. They've spread their tentacles everywhere, and vari kucorrupt those systems. And at the end of the day, the nation suffers. Ivo vachiramba vachipfuma. Ukangoona nyika yekuti politician akuva richer than the CEO of a private company, nyika iyo yatoshata. A politician is supposed to be a civil servant. Mushandi wehurumende, a politician. Haafani kukupfuma, haafani kukuhora mari yakawanda kana kuita mari inopfuura CEO we private company. Hazviiti. Mari inofanirwa kunge yakawanda more in the private sector than in government. Government inofanirwa kunge ichitobhorowa iyo mari ku-private sector. Inofanirwa kunge ichibhorowa mari kuma-insurance companies anenge akakipa ma-provident funds nema-pension funds anenge achikipa for long periods of time. Government ichibhorowa from there, ichipaya with interest. Vachitora mari iyoyo vachiisa into developmental projects. That's how things should operate. Saka zvakangodhakwa zvinhu zviri kuitwa nezvigananda. Zvakadhakwa, and they are clueless. Avatombozivi zvavari kuita varume vava. Chinhu one chavari so good at and chavari kungoita chete. They are just looking at opportunities of where they can grab and steal. And ndizvo zvavari kungoita. And vari kungoba. Kuti vagare a meeting chaiyo yekudiscuss about progressive things munyika, kuti how do we lift up this sector yedu yakadonai. Toisumudza sei energy sector. What other ways what other means can we bring kuitira kuti tiite augment the energy supply yatinayo right now? What other things can we do? Can we bring my windmills? Timboshandisa the air, the wind production of electricity. Todi, we cannot continue relying on Kariba. We cannot, yes, no, can coal excessive. Why are we not establishing other coal coal plants like Yekuange, like Blawa? Why are we not having more? Because we have excessive coal in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is nyika inofanirwa kuti inouya ma-politicians vachiti explainira kuti magetsi ari kunetsa nokuti muwange nokuti mukariba dam hamuna mvura. We can't rely on hydroelectricity chete. Handei tinopinda kumwe titsvage mamwe masources atingaita kana tiine coal yakawanda kudaro. Tine nzizi dzakawandisa kwese kuna namwenezuku kuna nanhingi uku. Tinokwanisa kunoplanta mamwe maplants ikoko kwese kuna natugwi marivers ari kutambura nemvura. Toenda tongonoplanta mahydro, not only hydro, even coal power stations. It's a matter of just creating railway lines anomhanya kubva kuhange kana wherever coal is being mined, achimhanya matrains achiendesa coal ikoko, magetsi achiproduce. Chii chiri kutadzisa kuita zvinhu zvakapisa kudaro? Wonzwa munhu politician achida kupa reason yekuti kwanzi nekuti hamuna mvura muna Kariba. Who said hydro is the only option? We have many options. Tine makomo akawandisa muZimbabwe mekuti kada kutanga kutora ma-turbines chaiwo tichaisa pamusoro pemakomo. Anokwanisa kusupply vana Mutare vaya vakatikomberedzwa nemakomo. Anokwanisa kusupply magetsi eMutare, anokwanisa kusupply through wind. Then to reduce the national grid iri kusupply Mutare yonyanya kusupply more by the wind turbines anenge achiproduce electricity. zvakuita kuti national grid isanyanyosafa. Magetsi anga achibva ehydro anga achipinda mutare akuendawo kumwe kunhu. Havana brain dzese idzodzo vanhu ivava, havana basa kungowawata chete nekungobata mamaiki vachitaura nonsense. Hapana zvinhu zvavanotaura zvine production, zvinobvira kumusoro wacho iyeyo. Havana kana brain, havana brain. Chii chavari kugara vachiswera vachiita varume ava? Nyika ichidonha munyika ichiwondongeka, munotadza kana kuvhara mapoto chaiyo chaiyo. Asi pavakanga vakuda kukambenera kotisa kupwanyawo, vakanobvisa tara yese iko Highfield vakaisa tara nyuwani. Why can't you do it? Kana Harare City Council yacho yatadza, imimi government yacho muine mari, muri kutengesa all the lithium and the gold yamuri kutengesa, muri kudi kungotora over, toda kugadzira city yedu for the purposes of our pride as a government. Zvekuti tirambe tichiti nemhaka yekuti tiri kuranawo neopposition, but opposition yacho ndiana mafume muri kudya mese futi. Why not just take over, mubvise maroads ese maHarare, muite resurface maroads? Havadi mari yacho vanayo and vane mari kutambisa, they don't even know what to do nemari yacho. When a week no one go tenga ma jet 35 million. What is that? So vakomana nyika yedu inorwadza, inotoda Mwari, vari vanotibvisa pana Mwari ava. And they can't even fix the Bulawayo thermal station which they inherited from Ian Smith. Yes, Angoma white elephants. Why not revive Harare coal fire station? All big cities had coal fire stations which have been neglected. You see now, don't you have to taura hiyo? As a coal yacho irina in excess munyika. We have excessive deposits of coal. So why not use? Why not make use of that? Anyway, those are really those are katrikuna matira nyika kuti Mwari ngavasumudze new leaders. Mwari ngavasumudze new leaders. Vanokwanisa kuuya vaine normal senses, vaine Zimbabwe at heart. And those are the people. Zimbabwe ikangowana that correct leaders. Zimbabwe inyika inosumuka in a twinkling of an eye. I'm telling you. Tinosumuka kubuda all these doldrums in just a click of a finger. Zimbabwe inenge yasumuka. Because we just have too much money, even which is too much for just 16 million people. Yakatiwandisira mari iri mukanyika kaya. But chinhu chanetsa ndechekuti Satan akabvaunza vana vake ndobva varana nyika. Saka isusu vana vaJehovha taakunamata Jehovha nguva yavo yakwana, ngavafambe Zimbabwe isununguka. Ramba uchinamatira nyika Zimbabwe. Hatisanganei kunew show yatiri kutaura neresponse yaAngel kuna Tungwarara. Tozoita compare it with what we have seen, the analysis yataona from our sister Chipo. Otherwise, bless you.